So I made a bunch of these really quick and easy rocks using the sticky part of a post-it note. So just cut off a sticky section and place it on your stone, rub it down really good. Now we're going to break our stone into different colored sections. I'm using 4 colors, a light and dark of a blue and a light and dark of a teal. So I'm going to start with my dark blue, creating larger sections going to the top and bottom of the rectangle and skinnier sections going off to the sides. Now when you're creating your lines and filling in, make sure you're always pulling your paint off of the post-it. Don't go towards the post-it. This will help you get a nice crisp edge when we peel up the post-it note at the end. So just work your way around your design. I'm alternating between a dark blue, next I'm doing this light blue, and then I'm going to do a dark teal and a light teal. These are all from the same Ocean Tones Posca paint pen pack. I do have it linked in our All Supplies shop. They are the fine tip, and I'm just using the same 4 for the entire design and all the designs above as well. Once you've got all 4 of your colors down, we're going to add a little bit of design on top. So on the light blue, I'm creating these dark stripes. And I also did a dark line along the opposite side just to break apart the teal and blue. And then I'm taking the light blue pen on top of the dark to do dots. And I'm going to do the same swap of the teal colors as I did with the blue. So I'm going to go ahead and do dark teal lines on the light teal and then the light teal dots on the dark teal. Obviously give yourself dry time in between these layers so that everything comes out nice and neat. Once everything's dry, peel off that strip of post-it note and add a word to your word rock like breathe. We got a bunch more to get through, so we're going to jump into the next 2 right away. One of them, I'm going to repeat the same designs with the same colors, and the other one is a little more freestyle. I'm just going to give you some tips in this video so that you can do this successfully. So just start off with the base line. I started with my dark line on both rocks so that you have something to follow along on each rock, which direction you're going to be going. As you notice here on these swirls, I am picking up my pen. You do not want to go into your post-it note. So if you have to pick up your pen and create the line coming back off of the post-it note, that's what you need to do. Also, you can make your lines thinner, thicker, do dots, do dashes. You can do any kind of style you want. You can bounce around just doing different designs with different colors, whatever you're feeling, like I did on this rock. It ended up being kind of an X shape in the background where I started filling in the angles and the triangles with dots and lines back and forth. Or this other rock where I actually just repeated the pattern. I did the dots the same color, the thin line the same color, the dash is the same color, and just repeated the pattern. There's obviously no rules for these. Just be creative with it and just keep working out to the edges until you've filled all of the negative space and you like the way it looks. Then peel up that post-it note and put a kind word in the center. Now I'm doing hope and breathe on these rocks and I'm alternating my letters. So as you can see, I start in the center and kind of work my way out to help with spacing. Now, if you're loving these designs, but you aren't very confident in drawing straight lines, I've got a couple options for you. So for these next 2, if you have shaky hands, they are perfect for you. So 2 designs here. The first one, we're just doing the pulls off of the post-it note onto the rock. Now this is just the sticky portion of the post-it note in case you didn't watch the previous videos. So just rotate your rock, start on the post-it note and pull straight off the post-it note. The second one, we're doing dots. You're just dabbing, dot, 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 dot. Take as long or go as fast as you want. I'm using all 4 colors first on both of these, giving a first coat, and then I'm going to come back over and around with all 4 colors again. That way I can get dots everywhere where I see a hole, and I can fill stripes anywhere there's a gap coming off of the post-it note. You want to work your way around until you basically can't see the edge of your post-it on both of these designs. Once you're happy with how you've got all of your stripes and all of your dots, you're going to peel up your post-it note piece and then add a word inside. So for these 2, I was going to alternate the letters. So if you have an even amount, just go back and forth. If you have an odd amount, place your center letter first, and then you can work your way out. It will help you line up your lettering more centered. So this next one is super simple. You are just going to trace around your rectangle on your rock and just use whatever colors you want. I'm using these ocean tones, so I am going to repeat the order of my paint pen as I slowly work my way out to the edge of the rock. If you've got a color that needs 2 coats, depending on your rock, it might dry enough just to go over with the second coat just as you go around your rock. Take your time with this. Work on getting these nice straight lines. Try to pull each of your lines in one solid stripe. This is really good practice if you do have problems doing straight lines. Now, as you grow out along the edges of your rectangle, eventually your corners are going to break. You're just not going to be able to go completely around unless you want to wrap all the way around your rock. That's fine. So just break at the corners and just continue the stripes in your same pattern until you've filled the full surface space of your rock. Once you're done with that, go ahead and peel off that Post-it note, and you're going to put a word on your rock. And I messed up on that part, but I'm going to show you how I fixed it. So I put breathe on my rock with my dark navy, and I spelled it wrong. I missed one of my E's, and I looked at it for a moment to decide how I was going to fix this since there wasn't a base coat. I did want the rock still showing through, so I didn't want to color it completely in a color. So I decided to just rewrite breathe with my really dark paint pen, let that dry, and then I went right on top of it with a light one, and it gave it a look like there was almost a drop shadow behind my light lettering. So for this final rock, we are going to use all 4 of our colors. In case you didn't watch the rest, I might be repeating some tips. Put your Post-it note down, make sure it's got a good connect, and then you're going to start creating your lines coming off of the Post-it note. That is the biggest tip for making these turn out really nice, is you don't want to push your paint into the edge of your Post-it note. So even when I'm doing my line here along the edge, I'm pulling off to the left and right of the Post-it so that I'm not running into it. Now I'm making a thick line along the top, and I'm going to do a thick line along the bottom of this design. Now I've got 4 colors I'm alternating with in this specific rock. I'm not going to repeat the specific lines with each color, but I am going to keep them in the same order. So as I work my way out from the center of my rock, I'm just going to alternate between doing dots and dashes and thick lines and thin lines with these beautiful ocean tone colors. Once your paint is dry, you are going to peel up that Post-it note in the center and then add a word to your rock. Now I loved the way that the light color looked on top of the dark color on my last mistake, so I did the same thing on this. I did the dark teal down first with the light teal on top. I hope you enjoyed all of these fast and fun kindness rocks. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite.